Hi, Gary Port for NY Divorce Facts, here with Matcha, Azuki. Is that Yuzu? No, she's not looking for food right now. And Kosho, who's always looking for food. These guys would not know what to do in the outdoors. They are such house pets. Their idea of foraging is coming onto my shoulder and poking me in the cheek. In my last video, we talked about the missing spouse, and I mentioned the concept of default. Default is where the party that you have served doesn't show up to the divorce. Now, it could happen that you serve them with a process server and they don't show up. You serve their relative, like I spoke about in the other video, or serve by publication and they don't show up. Now we've got a default. Defaults are not that easy. They're doable, but again, extra steps. The first thing that happens with the default is if there is property involved, you own a house or stuff like that, you make an application to the court for a default of the divorce, but point out that there is property. What the court will then do is put the matter down for a court appearance and will tell you to somehow try to notify the other side, however you can. You show up to court, the other side doesn't show up. The judge says, fine, great, they're not here, I'm going to grant the default. And the judge gives a date for what is called an inquest. And the inquest is kind of like a trial, but no one's there but you, your attorney, the judge, and the court reporter. And you go on the witness stand and you say to the judge, I have a house, I've got a 401k, whatever, and I have not seen my spouse in X number of years. We have no communication, no contact. There really is not a marriage, and I'm asking the court to award me the entirety of the house. Now, sometimes the spouse does show up for the inquest, and I have that happen right now. Husband disappeared for 30 years. We knew where he was. We served him. He defaulted, but there's a house involved. So now we're going to go to an inquest to determine who's going to get the house. My client's position is she spent 30 years paying down the mortgage. She raised 3 kids without him. She should get the house. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I think she's got a good case. We're waiting on the judge to give us a date to go in and do this, probably sometime over the summer. And I'll probably do a video after that. But again, the point of the default is when you get the default, you still have to go in if there is property and argue to a judge why you should get however X amount of percentage, if not the entire amount of the property, because the other spouse is gone, there was no real marriage, whatever. If the other spouse shows up, you're going to fight over equitable distribution. A default does not mean that if they show up, you automatically win equitable distribution. If there is no property at all, you'll get the divorce. One kicker, if there's children, you may have to go to family court. May depends on the judge. That, as I said in another video, is a whole other issue. And I might deal with that in another video because it is rather complex. But in the end, if your spouse doesn't show up, you still can get a divorce. If you have any questions on this, give us a call at Port and Sava. We help you get on with the rest of your life.